All right. So start of the week, getting ready for Philly. Look excited about the challenge that we have. Excited to get back in front of our home crowd. We're going to need their help this week. It's a good team. Offense, defense, kicking game. Offensively, they run the ball exceptionally well. Saquon Barkley looks really good. They block well up front. We'll see what happens with, A.J. Brown, if he is able to play or not. I think he makes a significant impact on their offense. But they got other receivers, Devontae Smith. They got guys that can hurt you. Dallas Goedert at the tight end position. They're a good offensive team. Defensively, I think Vic Fangio is as good as there is in our league in terms of coordinating the defense. They got some talented players over there on that side. I think their front's really active. Obviously they got some good talented players back there in the secondary. Darius Slay, Gardner Johnson, those guys. So this is going to be a good challenge for us.
D, how did Marshawn look? I know you said you held him out Sunday. Pretty much was on good.
Yeah, look, he was limited today, but I thought he did some good things. My expectation is, we got some limited work today. Maybe we'll get a little bit more tomorrow, and as the week goes on, we'll, kind of progress ourselves up to being ready to go on Sunday. That's the anticipation, and that's the hope.
Any update on Taysom?
No, he didn't practice today. We'll see where he's at tomorrow. I'm kind of hopeful that he'll be able to get out and at least get some limited work in tomorrow. So, we'll just monitor him throughout the course of the week, and hopefully he'll be ready to go. And if not, some other guys will have to step up.
Dennis, how rewarding has it been just to watch Derek have the success he's had in this offense early on? And in that same vein, how have you liked his approach, the way that he started this week, kind of moving forward in terms of hey, this is a good start, but I'm still trying to,
Yeah, look, his approach has been awesome. His approach has been awesome since he's been here, and I think there's even been a heightened sense of urgency with him. Knowing that we were, putting in a new scheme and knowing the challenges that go along with that at the quarterback position. But he embraced the challenge. He bought into everything that we've been asking him to do. I think he's in a great headspace right now. I think he feels good about what we're doing offensively. I think he's got good rapport with his, receivers, skill players, I should say. I'm really pleased with where he's at and what he's been able to do, and excited for him. And I think he's going to keep getting better. So I'm excited about what he can do, as we keep moving forward.
Does the way they use a quarterback as a runner and get him out in space and stuff, does that change at all with the new offensive coordinator?
No. You still see a lot of the same or a lot of similar type, concepts, similar things that they're doing. There's a few nuances that are a little bit, maybe a little bit different that, Kellen's brought with him, but I see a lot of carryover in what they've done in the past. And look, I think certainly Hurts' ability to hurt you, no pun intended, with his feet makes him a significant challenge to have to deal with, whether it be he's perfectly capable of just drop back pass, throwing the ball from the pocket and delivering the ball on time. And yet when he begins to scramble, it makes life challenging in the back end. They do a good job of getting to the secondary play and uncovering and getting themselves open. I think his ability to run the football makes things more challenging in run defense, because they can have the runner, Saquon Barkley, going this way with some sort of counteraction with the quarterback keeping it on the backside. They make you play 11-on-11 football, and they do a really good job of it. I think they got a really tough scheme.
What do you think about your run defense so far this season? Because obviously game scripts haven't had people running at you a lot.
Well, look, I think we're improved. And yet I still think, this will be a significant test for us. I think Philly's been one of the, better running football teams, in our league. I think Jeff Stoutland does a really good job coaching the offensive line. I'm sure he's heavily involved in the, scheme, run-wise, and what they're doing. So it'll be a significant challenge, and we'll have a better idea where we're at after that.
Are there a couple of non-game plan specific things you guys identified this offseason after that hadn't been up to your standard the last couple of years?
Well, look, I mean, I think there's a lot of things that go into that, right? It's a lot easier to play run defense when you're up by 2 or 3 scores. That makes a significant difference. So I think that's part of it. I think we had to get back to a little bit more some fundamentals, and how we play blocks and how we get off blocks and do those types of things. And I think we had to get back to our culture, our style, our physicality. Not that it was bad, it just wasn't to the standard that we're used to. And so I think as you watch the tape, you kind of see, here's where we have to improve. These are the things we have to do better. And I think our guys have bought into that, and we've experienced some success with that to this point. And, again, we'll have another, tough test this weekend.
Jay, what do you make of Zack Baun? Just his role with the Eagles and kind of the success he's had?
Yeah, look, I'm happy for Zach. He's in a scheme and a place where he's getting an opportunity to get out there and play, and he's done some good things for those guys. So I'm happy that he's having success. I don't want him to have success on Sunday, but I'm happy that he's having success.
Is a change of scenery like that, like sometimes?
I think a lot of times it can be. It can be just something different, a different message, whatever the case may be, and sometimes that helps some guys, and seems to be the case for him.
Why is the so-called tush push difficult to stop?
Well, I think their offensive line averages like 330, 340, something like that. I mean, I think they're the biggest line in the NFL, so that's part of it. There's no space in there. And they do a good job of getting leverage. And I think Jalen does a good job of, he's really powerful in his lower body. And so I think, he, along with the offensive line and whoever else they put behind him to push, make it really challenging.
Willie Gay has only played like a handful of snaps. It's just hard to play 3 linebackers, and like, what are you kind of seeing with?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, yeah, some of that's dictated based on the offense. I don't think it's any secret. We don't really match our regular grouping versus subgroupings very often, and so that we play a lot of 2 linebacker, defenses, and so I think that's part of it. And I think as Willie gets more and more comfortable in the scheme, as he continues to learn what we're asking him to do, he'll continue to get better, and then maybe there's an opportunity that we figure out a way to get him on the field a little bit more. So I think here's everybody wants to play, and everybody wants to be on the field, but the ultimate thing is putting our team in the best position to have success and win football games. And however we deem we have to do that, that's what we'll do.
And Dennis, when you have a couple of wins like you had this week, the last couple of weeks, does managing that come into play? Managing success, managing the expectations?
Yeah, look, I think that's the league that we're in. You have to manage adversity, and you have to manage prosperity. It's a constant game of management. When things are going bad, there's a tendency to think, the sky is falling and everything's awful. And when things are going well, there's a tendency to kind of think that you can do no wrong. And you have to fight both of those. And so the key is you have to have a belief, a formula, a system of the way that we operate. And the results, we don't worry about the results. We got to worry about the process. We got to worry about the preparation. We got to worry about, our focus on the task at hand. And then when you do those things and you do those things well, the results kind of take care of themselves. And so it's much more difficult, with, all you guys writing 4 or 5 articles a day, to ignore the noise. But that's really what you have to do either way.
Do you believe in, I don't know, don't eat the cheese and all that, not getting too caught up in the headiness of that?
Well, I would say this. I would say nobody should be eating any cheese in week 2 of the season going into week 3. It's early. We got, and when you watch the tape, you look at it and you'd say, yeah, we did good things. Okay, but there's still a lot of things that we have to clean up and that we have to be, better at. And so that's really where you have to try to focus. I thought our guys came out today. I thought they had a focus. I thought they had an intensity. I thought they prepared well. They were into the plan in all 3 phases. So that's the formula for success. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to win every game, but if you don't do those things, it makes it very difficult to have success.
When you see a player like Cesar Ruiz running 40 yards downfield, sprinting like that, you talk about buy-in. Is that symbolic of that to some degree?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I don't know. I'm sure there's other teams that you can look at the tape and see things like that, but I think that just shows that guys believe in what we're doing. They believe in the hope that we have to win. And they're having fun doing it. And I think that's an important part of what we do. It's a hard deal. It's a hard job, for all of us. And so you have to have some fun while you're doing it.
You touched on it kind of before, but how does Saquon's presence, does it make Jalen Hurts even more dangerous given?
Yeah, look, I think Saquon's speed and explosiveness, and the way that he hits the hole downhill, when you watch it on tape, sometimes he just comes out of nowhere, and then next thing you know, he's 7 yards down the field, and so I think that makes it challenging, and so him being able to run the football, and then the quarterback at any time being able to pull the ball or get into some sort of spread out formation, whether it's a no back formation or a 1-back set, spread everybody out, get the defense spread out, and then run quarterback draws or quarterback lead plays and things of that nature. They know what they're doing in the run game, and they utilize the players that they have exceptionally well.
How have you seen Chase Young kind of grow as a part of this team since he's arrived in the offseason?
Yeah, look, I think you guys have asked about him a lot, and I think every time it's been great that he's come in, he's done everything that we've asked him to do. He's fit in with the group. He's one of us, and he's affecting games, and so I feel real good about where he's at.
Tim said, how much do you think y'all forcing the other team to be in base with either 21 or 12 personnel or whatever has helped y'all do some of the things you're doing offensively?
Well, yeah, I think when you get into any of the game plans that you get into, you're going to look at, what's the personnel grouping that we feel best about the matchups? You know, whether it's 21, 12, 11, or some variation thereof, or maybe it's, 22 or 13 personnel, and get heavy to go out there and play. So I think we're always looking at where do we think we can gain an advantage, both in the run game and the passing game, and we try to focus in those areas as much as we can.
If I could just circle back quickly to Fangio, I mean, he was here for a long time, Vic Fangio. When you see somebody who's been in the league like that long, is it because they're a good teacher? I mean, you have to evolve the way the game has evolved. I mean, just the longevity somebody has had like that and the success they've had no matter the decade.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's been coaching defense for a long time at a high level and been a part of a lot of really good defenses. And you have to be doing something right to be able to do that. And you obviously have to be able to adjust and adapt because our league is constantly adjusting and adapting. I mean, I'm sure when he first started coaching defense in our league, it was, 2 back sets, pro formation, slot formation, and that was kind of the deal. And then all of a sudden you get into, probably the, Dolphins in the 80s or something like that, where now all of a sudden they're spreading everybody out, in 3 wide, formations, to now where you're getting a lot more of the athletic quarterback, all right, and you're seeing a lot more quarterback run schemes. I mean, 10 years ago, nobody was running their quarterback, and now it seems like everybody is. So, yeah, you have to be able to adjust, and the fact that he's been able to have success over the course of time tells me that, A, he understands football, and B, he's willing to adjust and adapt to the trends in the NFL and what his players can do well.
You listen to a lot of Kendrick?
Do what?
You listen to a lot of Kendrick Lamar?
No, I wouldn't say that's on my playlist, but my son was with me out at training camp, and so we heard that song plenty of times. Yeah. All good? All right, thanks, guys.